Hi guys, and welcome to our latest video where we will be discussing all of your different hob options. But before we get into it, as always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments if there's anything in particular you want to see in future. Hi guys, and welcome to our latest kitchen project. We have an ambrosia white quartz. What you guys love to see, the double door pocket door larder, have arrived at Letchworth today at our workshop. Hey mate, what's your YouTube channel? So your first hob option is going to be an induction hob, and it's probably the most commonly used hob option in the UK at the moment. So what we've got here is a Siemens induction hob. It's 800 or 80 centimeters wide, and this is a studio line version, and this is a flex induction, which means that whilst it's got 4 separate rings, it's effectively, you can mesh them together to have 2 larger rings, and there's also these center ones as well that can bridge together, making effectively a 5-ring hob if you need. So induction hobs are great. You don't have to have gas. They are a bit safer. They aren't necessarily hot to the touch straight after using it. And another benefit is that you don't have to have as much of a clearance above a worktop. You can get away with a 65 centimeter clearance versus in a gas hob 75 centimeters. Most induction hobs come with a glass frame, which means that they are very easy to clean. In a gas hob, you've got to take off the trivets and scrub it internally, take off the rings, wash them. It is a bit of a palaver, whereas with a glass induction hob, you literally spray it, wipe it, and it's done. With an induction hob, another benefit is that you still get the usable drawer underneath. So here we've got 2 drawers side by side, and as you can see, both have internal drawers underneath it, and that is because the hob base actually only takes up a small amount underneath the worktop. Another benefit is that you only have to run electrical cabling into, if you've got it on an island, for example, whereas with a gas hob, you've got to run gas mains under the floor. If you've poured a concrete slab, it is a bit harder to get in. In terms of cost, induction are probably middle of the range. They are slightly more expensive than gas hobs, and that's because there's a lot more technology arriving in the back end to do with this. And in terms of the brand of induction hob, there are really so many options. You could go with a very entry level, something like a Siemens, all the way up to a Gaggenau induction hob, which can tell when you're moving a pot from one area of the hob to another and will retain the same level of heat. It can get crazy, you know, can go up all the way up to sort of £3 grand for a hob, but I'd expect to pay for a middle of the range induction hob between £800 and £1,000. So the next type of hob that you can opt for is what we call a downdraft hob, and that effectively means that the extractor is built into the hob or in the center of the hob, so it extracts the fumes directly from whatever you're cooking down rather than letting it flow up and extracted in the center. The downside to this is that you will lose at least 1 or 2 rings in induction, and therefore you have less cooking space available to you, but typically you get away with 4 rings, which is enough for most people. The downdraft extractor brand we use the most is Bora. It's a German company, and there is a very good reason for this, and that is because when Bora started, all they did was downdraft extractor hobs, and their technology was just superior to everyone else's. Siemens, for example, made dishwashers, fridges, ovens, hobs. Bora just focused on the hob, they perfected it, they got it right, and now they are massive in the market. What we're showing here is actually the Bora Professional, which is effectively a domino set of hobs where you can add in different configurations, be it gas, be it induction, in this case a teppanyaki grill. So what we're showing here is a teppanyaki grill, the central extractor section, and then a 2-ring induction hob on the other side. Now this is a very, very expensive bit of kit. I think this setup as it's shown is about £6 grand. Don't quote me on that, but it's a lot of money compared to a normal induction hob, which is gonna run you at £1,000. Yes, you'd have to add into the induction hob and extractor, maybe another £1,000 to call it £2 grand. This is significantly more expensive. Bora do have an entry-level range called the Bora Pure, and that is a 4-ring induction hob with the extractor in the center. So this is a much more expensive setup, but the aesthetically pleasing part of this are these dials which have been drilled into the fascia of the stone, and it's just a really, really nice look. So this central dial controls the extractor. You turn it on, and as you can see here, the extractor hood opens and starts pulling air in straight away. It's a very, very clean looking bit of kit, very, very smart, very practical. We absolutely love them. So your final option in terms of hobs is a gas hob. Now, entry-level gas hobs are the cheapest option you can find available, usually a stainless steel gas hob with black trivets. That is your standard practice, and you can get them on the market for anywhere as low as sort of £400. This is not that. This is a Wolf range top, and it is an incredible brand from America, but they are seriously expensive. They've got the signature red dials on the front, which are iconic, especially in the US, and you can see it is a monster bit of kit. So here you've got a 6 gas burner, everything from a smaller ring all the way to a ginormous ring. And then in the center here, you have a griddle pan, which I can show you. It's a hot plate that you can simmer stuff on. If you are a serious cook, this setup is exactly what you need. As I alluded to earlier, one of the disadvantages is that your extraction has to be at least 75 centimeters from the worktop, so your wall units will sit a bit higher. In this case, we've shown a bespoke extractor above by Westin, so that's not really a problem because you're not using the space above you. But in a normal kitchen, if you've got a gas hob, modern kitchen, for example, with wall units running along, they are going to be slightly higher as a result. In terms of safety, obviously a gas hob is more dangerous than an induction hob. As soon as you're done cooking, the trivets are going to stay hot for a while afterwards. If you've got young kids running around, it's probably not the best. I've heard a lot of quote unquote professional chefs say that induction hobs are terrible because you don't have enough control over the heat, which is obvious. When you're using a gas hob, you can really directly control that heat, but for 99% of the population, call it 80% of the population, that is definitely good enough. Some more modern gas hobs come with a black glass base. Again, that's going to be easier to clean, but even still, having to mess around with the trivets and the rings from a practicality point of view, it's just not as easy to maintain, and it is a bit of a faff. If you wanted a more traditional look, then a lot of people opt for a range cooker where you've got your ovens built in and this is the top. And companies like LeConte, who do a lot of our range cookers, you can customize these top panels so that you can have a mix of gas and induction. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that recap on hobs. Again, let us know in the comments if we've missed anything or you want us to do a specific video. See you next time.